Okay. Hey, how's it going? Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. We're going to get these out of the way for the moment. We'll come back to that. I know a couple of people might be interested in that later on. But hey, today we're going to be doing a build. It's kind of a developing project for me. And it is my Venom 60 Hall Effect PCB, which I have right here. It's already got my stabs in it. Disregard the fact that the stabs are mini and varied. I need to replace them actually at some point soon, but yeah, this is the Venom 60. We'll take the foam off for the moment. And it's a 60%, as you can see, as is guessed by the name. Which means that it has no arrow cluster here. This one is locked into a 6.25U configuration. This fits standard GH60 cases and plates and foams-ish. As you saw just a second ago, I had to do a little bit of editing on the foam to really make it work. But we'll go through all of that, well, sort of, in a little bit. And so if you look on the GH60, you'll see that there are sensors for each socket, as well as the collectors up here, and then the brain right here. It has a button for the bootloader mode. It has a button for reset. It has a USB-C mounted to the PCB here. I'm not exactly sure what that does. It also has a JST loaded here, which I don't know what that does, because they are both, that would put them right here at the space bar. So I'm not exactly sure, but you can remove them simply by punching it out. And then there's a JST connector here. If you're going to be using a JST daughter board on your case, you can connect it using that. So it's kind of all around. And then this is the USB-C, which is what we will be using today. If you're not using this, and if it's causing problems because it kind of pokes out a little bit, then you can actually break this off. All of these pieces kind of allow you to remove them in order to do it. As a matter of fact, I think I just realized what the hell this is. This is actually a daughter board for this PCB. I can't believe it took me until just now to figure that out. I bet you it's written on here. No, it's not. But it could be, and I would have no idea until just now. So that's awesome. So this is a JST connector for this PCB. So you could break this off, put it into a board, screw it down with the screw holes provided here, connect your JST to it, and you're off to the races. That's fantastic. And I can't believe, again, that it took me until just now to figure that out. So there's no hole for the switch because it doesn't need it, but it does have the guide holes for support the two guiding pins that some Hall Effect switches have, such as these. These are the Duhok on-point switches. You'll see. So this is a closed bottom switch, which is kind of my preference. And then you have the pins at the bottom that are guide pins that just kind of keep it going to the right place. So we'll possibly explore the hux a little bit later. So the case foam is actually, or the plate foam is actually a foam for another PCB that I then edited by basically cutting out the perimeter of it, and then making sure that all of the screw holes that I need are going to be exposed, namely this, and this, as well as the screw holes to put it down onto the plate, which we may not be using today, depending. And that is this, and this. So these two are actually optional in the tofu Redux case, and we'll see that in just a little bit. So to go with our PCB, we have two plates. Up until now, I have been running the copper plate, but I found that the copper plate wasn't giving me the sound that I wanted, and so I just recently got the alu plate, and that is what we're going to be using today. So it goes down like this, lines up with the screw holes, and then we're going to use the screws here, screw that down, but we'll come back to that. So we now have a plate, we now have a PCB. All we really need at this point, well, besides switches and keycaps, is the case, and that is this, the tofu. There you go, tofu. 60 Redux. So this is very popular with people who want to upgrade the case for their booting, and should just work with this. So here are a couple of things, screws to mount the PCB to the case. Again, we may not end up using that. Also the standoffs, as you'll see, to use the middle two. This does come with a case foam that works in here. And then finally, the tofu itself. Well, the tofu case itself. Not to be confused with the actual tofu 60, which is different. So this is the tofu case that I picked. It is the purple colorway. As you can see, there is a place here that is kind of hollowed out. It has long, sorry about the fingerprints, it has long feet on the bottom, which, I don't know, I don't mind. So that place on the bottom seems like something should go there, and it should. And that is where this comes in. This is the tofu 60 Redux weights. And the weight that I chose today is the brass. So we're going to insert this brass weight in here. The screws for it are in here. And it simply goes like that. And we'll take our screws, get the bag open. And this needs a big hex screw. One right here. Hey, it fits. The big boy. I don't know why, but when I screw down one side, the other side kind of comes up a little. Guess that means that the weight itself is bent, but once I screw it down, it's not going to matter. And that is the internals. So, I mean, I think that's just the brass with the purple looks really nice. I kind of wish they'd included brass screws, and maybe that's something for me to look into in the future. So here's the thing, right? We have to set this aside for the moment. So we have a special thing today, and I don't know if it's going to work or not. So currently, there are these hard standoffs. Cat here. There are these hard standoffs here, 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 along with places for an O-ring to rest on. But what we have are these. I don't know if they're going to work with this board. I guess we need to see if it's going to set a taller than our standoffs. See, I think it might work. My concern is that I'm going to use these gaskets, which are brand new from Geon, to they insert around the perimeter and lock in around the switches, and that allows me to instead of tray mounting, it then becomes a gasket mount. And so I think we're going to try that. I've got to screw down my plate, and then we'll put in some switches. So for switches, I have some choices, and hopefully you guys can help me decide. So for switches, where's my screws? There's my screws. I have Gateron Jade Pros. I have the DeHuck on points, and I have AE boards reeds. So Gateron Jade Pros are kind of one of those top end, high quality, the basically the gold standard, or at least it was the gold standard. Recently, the TIs by Owl Labs have become more of the gold standard, and I found them to be too clacky, and so I did not keep them, and I got rid of them. No, this is the Phillips head. Okay, I need a Phillips head. You stay there. You go there. You're a Phillips head. Look at you. The DeHuck is a semi-silent switch, which means that it has silicone on the top out, so that, well, actually I think it has a little gaskety thing that bounces on the top out. So it's less good for professional gamers, but basically it means that you only hear the bottom out, you don't hear the top out of the switch, which is kind of a neat sound. And then the reds are essentially a rubber dome, similar to a topiary, but with a magnet in it, so it becomes Hall Effect. And there is no internal spring. That is probably the main difference between something and something like this, which is has the navies in it, which is the topiary version of the same switch. I don't know if you can hear it. I can put it closer to the mic. You probably can't hear it, certainly over the music. How are y'all doing today? Did I already ask that? There might be more people in here now. And again, I hope y'all are having a wonderful Sunday. Freya's back, so that's good. And I can always change it later. I think that is all of them. Yes. So it actually gets better because of the fact that this is Hall Effect, because this plate is locked in. Let's start with the Jade Pros. And then we can decide if we just like them. Because that is always a possibility. We could just be like, oh shit, son. There we go. Now this PCB has no RGB, so there will be no RGB. But, you know, no keyboard is perfect yet. Not even the Seneca. If you don't know what the Seneca is, it's a keyboard that you can get made out of titanium. And if you get the titanium version, it is $8,000 for the keyboard. No switches, no keycaps, just the keyboard. So if you're looking for an $8,000 keyboard, I know where you can order one from. But you have to get on the waiting list because they're all custom made to order. Because, you know, if you're paying 8Gs for something, it had better be made custom order for you. Part of me wanted to get the Ligera case, by Geon, but especially with the shipping cost from Geon, it just made that thing way too expensive. As it stands, I kind of put a little bit more money than I wanted to into the case, but you know, if you're gonna get it, go with something you think is going to be really nice, and if you're going to do that, you might as well get the brass weight to go in it, right? Right. I think I'll have enough switches. If not, I think I have a couple more floating around somewhere. Not sponsored by Coca-Cola, but if they wanted to sponsor me, I would take that sweet, sweet Coca-Cola money. Thinking there's no way this is enough switches. Maybe I'm wrong. I guess we'll see. I have exactly enough switches. This is probably by design. I probably planned this. Past me is thoughtful like that. Alright. One to grow on. Alright, so here's our board with switches. Switches for me are always subject to change without notice. Let's see, are you going to fit in here? Oh, let's get the case. Yes, okay. So we want to put it in here, and it should fit like that, and it does. And then one here, why not? And one here, all the way on the end. Why not? There we go. And then on the top, they come 6 to a pack. We're going to put one here, one towards the middle-ish. About right here. I know why that one is doing that, and that's fine. It's because there's foam there. And last, we'll put it more towards the end. Again. Alright. Stop falling out. I know you wanna. Wait, no, it's gonna end up being near the. Can I do that? No, I can't. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna have to go there, I think. Let's see if it's gonna cause problems for us. Let's grab our case and see if we can get it to fit. Always want to just pop out. Here we go. Does it line up? It does. There is lateral movement because there's nothing holding it in place. Thank you, yeah. And welcome, Dazed Effect. Welcome to the channel. These are the Jade Pros. And we just are checking out to see whether or not we can make this thing into a gasket mount. Not an O-ring gasket either. Like a, more like a dumbbell gasket mount, but not to disparage the gasket mount itself, but let's see what changes that does to the sound. So I'm not running the case foam because I need to see if this works first, because I will have to cut the case foam so that, actually I guess I don't have to. That would just make it sit higher. I don't know if that's what we want. So now we're thinking about switches. For switches, same ones I used on my last purple build. If you remember the Stars 80, which I'll probably show y'all in a little while, because I changed it from these over to the cat here, over to violet on cream, if you saw that picture. But this is Spellbook, and I think Spellbook, and we're going to check it first, is going to be, I mean, it's a little bit more bluey, but I think it's going to work. Let's see. Hold on. So, just putting in a few switches just to see how this is looking. These are the Jade Pros. There's like a vibration there. And a certain kind of hollowness. And I think it is that it's not locked in place. Or that it's hitting the standoffs. So we'll grab my handy dandy little tool that came with our agar. And we can pull this up. We're going to try something real quick. That is to put in the case foam. No, can't use the case. I mean, we're going to end up using the case foam. Can't use the standoffs on this build. And the reason why is that it is hitting the standoffs. And when it hits the standoffs, it causes an extra noise. Not to mention, it needs this case foam, I think, because it's got a there's hollowness that's coming out too. So that being said, set you there for the moment. Actually, we'll take the case foam back out. There, so that we can install our standoffs. Come on, you. Okay. So now you guys should fit on there. You should fit on there. You should all go around. This should fit snug, and it does. I don't know what you were, but that's fine. Now we're going to drop our PCB back in. I have to remove the space bar. Make sure that stays out of the way. All of our holes are open. Whoa, hold on. Now we're going to install some screws. Hold on. Because I'm doing these four, I do not feel the need to do the two sides. Come on. No. Don't do that. That's why. Again, and that is why when you're screwing things down into the case, you each time you screw any other piece down until you're on the last piece, which is this one, you screw it down and then you back it off just a little to give you that wiggle room. And this is a good thing to know about really any computer related item. So see, I think that vibration is gone. Whether or not we still want to use the G Pros. That is a different story. But at least now I feel comfortable with building it out with it. And then if I want to change out all my switches, it's really no big deal because this is mounted to the PCB, so I can just pull out all the switches. And the plate is attached to the plate is attached directly to the PCB with the mounting points that are all around. So, you know, that's cool. So some things about the Geon Venom 60. Geon Venom 60, like I said, is a 60%. Made by Geon, surprisingly enough. It is an 8,000 hertz polling rate. It is not TMR, which means there is a small dead zone at the top. If that is a concern to you, it's very small. It is one of the higher rated PCBs. And like I said, one big feature is that it is GH60 compatible, just like the Wooting. Also, just like the Wooting, it uses the North Pole oriented switches. So you can use any switch that is compatible with the Wooting on this PCB, like the Jade Pros here, and they should work. We're going to take a look at the software a little bit later. If you were watching my stream last week, then this was one of my boards that did not get included in that, and it's because it was not built yet, and I was waiting for the case for it. So here we are. So we'll be looking at the software for it, and we'll think about how it stacks up versus the Newfie software. I'm not talking about the Wooting software because I've never owned a Wooting because they're too expensive, which is another thing to talk about. This PCB comes in at about, I think, $60. We'll look at that in a second. What else? What else do you want to know about this? And what do I need? I need Evocate. And we're going to go with our standard transposes. Least we have our cast button. All right, there we go. So we're gonna move these, make sure there are 6 of them back into their bag, which is right here. We're gonna take a look at a board that I know should work, and that is the O-ring mounted Bakeneko Go, and we'll mount this and see how it compares to an actual O-ring, which is what's on that. But for now, let's move some of this stuff off to the side. And let's do a quick sound test. So this is the Venom 60 tray mounted with plate foam and case foam, Gatoron Jade Pros, and Spellbook, which is a die sub PBT set. All right, doesn't look right. Okay, and here we go. All right. Well, I think that is a very fine sounding keyboard here. I think. Wow, that actually came out a lot better than I was expecting. This is probably my new favorite sounding keyboard. I know what the reds are going to sound like. I call them raids because it's R-A-E-D, which is an like a sound, like encyclopedia. But what about the on points? Are they going to be better? Are they going to be worse? Are they going to be the same? Those are the three options. Oops. Or I could just drop it in there. Literally. Not figuratively. Although literally can mean figuratively now. Alright, so here are the Jade Pros. Here are the on points. Ignore that. Notice how you have the double sound, the down and the up. This doesn't really have that. It's a little bit higher pitched. How it work in the spacebar. Ooh. Ooh. Let's see. Let's see. Let's find out together. I kind of like it for the spacebar. I don't know how I would like it as the full keyboard, though. Let's stick with the Jade Pros. Jade Pros nose. Like Bo. Anybody remember Bo nose? Oh, nice. Which one did you order? I mean, if it's your first one and you got it for cheap, it's always a place to start. So, but which one is it? Which one you getting? The EK68. Let's take a look here. Let's make sure that this thing works at all, because I haven't tried that out yet. Well, plugged in, so that's a good sign. We're going to come back to that. So far, it's not doing anything. Let's see here. We'll take a look at the software and have it rescan. Let me get you guys. Yeah, okay. Hey, they added a demo option. That's new. Alright, so it's not being detected. I think it could be the cable. Let's go with our other cable. Did I disconnect the other cable? I might have disconnected the other. Yeah. Yeah, it was the cable. Okay. Oh, hey, there's a new stable firmware. So I'll be able to show you that. So this is their new interface. They just changed this. This just got updated recently. This is not what I'm used to seeing. So let's go to setting, firmware upgrade. So they now show you the latest stable and the latest beta. Venom upgrades their stuff pretty regularly. And I'm going with stable because I like stable things. Yeah, the 68 would be a 65%. 68 is referring to the key count, how many keys it has on it. So, no, good for you, man. We'll take a look in a second. Where's my debug? Oh, there it is. Let's see. If I did everything right, that means that I should have a keyboard now. Hey, I do. Look at that. Where did I find it? Let's just go. It's on Amazon. That's nice. Okay, yeah, I know this keyboard. This is very similar to the GMK 67. So it should be flamingos. Did you get the flamingo switches or the Gateron Pro Yellow? Or the Bud Grigar? Bud Girigar? Bud Girigar. Ooh, or Bluebirds was an option. Well, wasn't actually an option. Flamingos? Flamingos are a solid starter switch. I agree. What color did you go with? The silver, the purple, or the black gold? It doesn't really matter in the long run because that only refers to your keycap color, which you can always change keycaps. The chassis on all of them is always the same. It's one of those things. Anyway, yeah, man, that's a solid starter guy. It comes with plate-mounted stabs. The EpoMaker plate-mounted stabs are actually pretty solid. I was ordering them because they were very reasonably priced, and they were pretty much good out of the box. Black silver, that's a good move. So that's going to be the ASA profile key caps. Does it say that here? It doesn't even say. So yeah, the keycap profile is a little bit different than your standard cherry profile. Oh, you got the $21 deal. Oh yeah, I remember somebody mentioning that. And when I went and looked, it had gone. No, that's cool. So the Venom software, going back, because there's some things. So you've got your socked, a socked, which I don't know what that is. Oh, it does it as well as the sock settings. It also does it based on key depth. Interesting. Tap hold, DKS, which is dynamic keystroke. Off keystroke? I don't know. So you have profiles and you have layers. And you can set your profile for each layer. This is my setup, where I have my function out here on the side, which is the flux key, which you might not be able to see. Let me see. I had it the first time. You have your flux key here, which is function, and that takes you to layer 1, and then right control, I believe, then becomes your way to get to layer 2. Yeah. So then I've got my standard little setup here, which is my modifier, navigation keys, and then my media controls, and then function keys up along the top. Layer 2, that's how I change between my different profiles for day-to-day, which is 1.2, no rapid trigger. Profile 2 is 0.6 with rapid trigger. I do not use socked because I am not that kind of gamer. I don't have anything really set for profile 3 or 4 because I don't need it. There's lighting effects, and that is only to show when you change profiles and stuff for each profile. That's not really something I needed. Those are the only lights on the keyboard. There's remapping. Again, your actuation point. You can do a quick setup where you can pick a profile. Let's pick profile 3. And then we're going to go advanced, which sets everything to 0.3 with a rapid trigger of 0.1. It just makes it crazy. The speed is high speed, 8,000 hertz. That is not anything I've found to be selectable. I would like to see it being selectable, but it's not. You can lock your left win, right win. You can disable Alt F4. You can disable Alt Tab. That's interesting. You can turn off OKS if you want to. I don't have anything set for OKS, so it doesn't matter. And you can turn on and off your NKRO, which means that if you have NKR turned on, you can press as many keys at once as you want, and it'll all register. So, yeah. So that's the software. As far as it goes, I would say that this is on par or better than the software that we looked at earlier in the week on the Newfie, with the exception of non-selectable polling rate. Because the polling rate takes a little bit more CPU. Now, I've heard recently that keyboards are less stressful on the CPU, even at 1,000 hertz. Sorry, thirsty today. So maybe it's not that big a deal. I do notice my CPU ramping up a bit when I'm doing things. So what do we think about this build? Are we happy with the colors? Do we think that this purple works with this purple? I need some opinions here, people, because I really think this sounds good. I was going to go with the silent topiary sound. Here, let me get that closer. Let's see if we can actually, y'all can actually hear it. Oh, you can hear that. So that's the sound. Well, it's not necessarily 100% like an actual topiary sound because it's an HMX switch housing. It's not that full rubber dome scenario with the slider. I'd love to get one of those at some point, but I don't have one yet, so I have to deal with what I got. But oh, hey, look. There is a light on. What the heck is that? It seems like it's my caps lock, but it's not turning off. Interesting. Well, you know, it's, at least it's purple, right? And yeah. So this is the first thing. This is the build, and I like it. Let's move this stuff out of the way. So we can move on to item number 2. Well, we move on to item number 1.5. As I've stated before, these are clones of Spellbook. They don't sell Spellbook anymore, so I was forced to buy clones. And yeah, so we're going to move this guy out of the way, since we will not be doing reds in it, at least not now. And to show you how the stars came out, here's my other purple board. Let's go ahead and get rid of the browser for the moment. So yeah, so it's a different shade of purple. It's more of a violet. Violet? You're turning violet, Violet? And these are ABS plastic keycaps. And then I have them on HMX Cosmic Purple coming up soon. We'll be looking at that. But yeah, this is the sound. So, and then this is the flex. Poing, poing, poing. Very much a lot of flex. All right. Next on our little agenda for today is going to be these guys again. Let's take a look at a board that can actually utilize that. Let's get you out of the way. Close. And fold again. Box. Don't lose you. Oh, you stuff need to go in the box as well, but we'll deal with that later. Okay. And no, wait, this is the wrong one. That's the Eve. That's gasket man already. We don't need that. You're in the hard shell case. I got this little hard shell case. It's very nice. It's like $20. You need a hard shell case. It's like Icaria on Amazon. Hey, thanks for the follow, man. And all right, this is the Bakaneko Go. This is an O-ring mounted 60% keyboard. So it is cool. How about that? That glow effect. Ooh. Yeah, boy. Who needs to turn off lights to see glow? Pow. He more like not good. What? What are you talking about? This thing came out nice, man. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. You don't think this is good? I mean, come on. That's some good stuff there. This is not Hall Effect. Although I guess... Oh no, actually I know for certain that I could take this and mount it in here. And it would work. It does. Because I already tried it. However... Since there's no battery connector on that, I would lose the entire point. Let's turn that off. And then, so, you can see the O-ring right here. It is in place because of the friction fit of the switches. So, I had a problem. I could not use a PE sheet, which people would go, well, no big loss there, except for the fact that I wanted to use a PE sheet. And so it would not let me. And so forget me. Because it would raise the switches up just enough that the O-ring could start wedging them out. And so they would wedge out the corners. So the corners would unseat just spontaneously, like boop, boop, boop-be-doo, boop. All right, so again, they're gonna go in here. That fits nicely, good. And we're going to put one on this side. Oh, wait. No, we're not going to put them there. We're going to put them here. Right. Right. And that just fell out. And fell on the floor. Huzzah. And put them inside. I can. Okay. Hey, Klex, what's going on? We're looking at the new Geon. I already built the... I should disconnect this. We already built the Hall Effect Keyboard in the Tofu. Very much like my sound. No, we're not going to do that. Yeah. So we can put it here, and we're gonna. So it goes in like this, and then once we put it in, it's going to basically be kept in place by that. So we should be able to put it in there. We're not going to put one in our spacebar, but I need to find the one that fell on the floor. And there you are. Okay. So I'm just going to have the 2 on the bottom, and then I'm going to put 3 on top. So I'm going to put 1 here. 1 to the side. One here. And we'll put our and then we should be able to put this in like this. That should be slightly to the side. Get overzealous now. And then that should go in like that. And if everything went in the way we expect, you should be able to see the gaskets here. You'll see that they sit above the O-ring standoffs, slightly to the side. Check our back. Our back isn't all the way in, so let's go ahead and do that. And then you'll see, once again, they're sitting at the bottom. So, the question is, how does it sound? Maybe I should use a louder switch for this. I don't know if it's just the switches I used. These are kind of a weird switch. The thing is, I can now change out the switches because this is now effectively PCB mounted gasket. So I have to be careful around the... Hey, Clownfish. Thanks, man. Thanks for the follow. So yeah, so now I need to watch out around here where the gasket is on this switch and this switch and this switch. But otherwise, I should be able to replace it. But let's see. Let's grab something different. How about a... Well, Let's go a lunar stone. I have some right here. Yeah, I think it's the switch. I don't hear it as much with the lunar stone. How are you doing today, Clownfish? I wonder. I wonder. Should I use Gateron Sage? That's cool, man. Well, it's Sunday. I mean, that might be a better switch for this keyboard altogether. Let's see. Let's do my little GH test. I know Alex does the HJ test, but it seems like G and H are more centered. So maybe that's why. I don't know. You can go back. We're not going to use you. So these are Gateron Sage switches, which are effectively a milky yellow with a smoothie sea salt stem put in. This is a special switch that was developed by in conjunction with Unikeys. See, these switches offer kind of a softer bottom out sound. The Sages are more pronounced. I don't know what your thoughts are. Oh, yeah, I drank all my drink. Look at that. Let me go grab some more drink. Like I said, I'm running kind of thirsty today, so just keeping it going. Anyway, that's not actually why we're here. Let's move it back for now. Maybe I'll change these out later, because our focus is supposed to be on these guys. And the answer to the question, are they good? And the answer is yes. Do they do their job? The answer is yes. Should you buy them? If you, like me, are not a huge fan of O-rings, for whatever reason, definitely I would get these. I have a friend who has a Freya 65, the Helheim Designs glass keyboard. And he ordered these, and I can't wait for him to get them now, because I think that they will work great. I'm actually going to leave this installed here. And, yeah. So, that being said, I'm going to leave these here. Why don't we make the tofu into an O-ring mount using this O-ring? Yeah, let's do it. I'm so excited. It's exciting. we're going to put this back away. You are going away. I might not switch this keyboard on stream. I might do it off stream. See if I can find something a little bit better. Or not. I mean, I like those switches. I like that soft bottom mount. Alright. So that being said, there are effectively 4 installed mounting points here right now. Nope, not that. One, two, three, oh, 4. So let's go ahead and uninstall those mounting points. Here's the one that's going to be tricksy like the Baggins, I'm sure. I knew it. I knew it. Come on. Hold on. Where's my... That'll learn you. Oh, hey, I forgot to put the music back on. Well, I'm working. We're working again. So we need Misty Autumn Night at the Castle Balcony. Autumn ambiance for reading and reflection. Dark Academia. Because, you know, we're building keyboards. It's obviously Dark Academia. Alright, that's 4. So now we should be able to pop out this. We're going to take out our foam for a second so we can remove these standoffs. Hopefully I did not tighten them down too much. I did not, and that's good. So there are gummy ring standoffs on the edges. So I should be able to put this on like so. It is screwed down. So I should just be able to drop this in. Hopefully, I should be able to just drop this in. What did I just say? You're making me look bad. Come on. There we go. All right. Figured out what my problem was. Besides this switch. Okay, there we go. All right, let's put this back together real quick. Weird. I think it has that sound again. Maybe it has to be locked in place. Yes, it doesn't seem to be working with the gummy O-ring. Alright. So we'll need to pull it out. Pull out, pull out! Alright, well. It was worth a shot. I mean, you know. Oh, I forgot to put the phone back in. Yeah, whatever. It was going to have that anyway. So. Oh, right. I was going to just put in the perimeter ones. So. We've got. So I was wondering, I'm going to be doing that HMX test in a second. We should be starting soon. As soon as I screw this back down and make sure everything works. And so, what keyboard? I was thinking, because I've seen other people really rally behind doing tests, namely Scoop Bar doing tests on his Neo 65CU. Maybe I would break out the Neo 65CU for the test. It already has HMX Chew on it, so I know that I enjoy that sound. What do y'all think about that? If y'all have any opinion. By the way, we're up to 19 HMX switches that we'll be testing today. I have 20. I don't know where the 20th is. They're all mounted on something right now. The one I can't find are the HMX Serene Green. Yeah, I mean, apparently don't gasket mount this keyboard. I have a lot of HMX. And then I have the screwdriver bit over here somewhere. So we're only going to be dealing with the home row, presumably. Theoretically, I could kit out an entire keyboard with alternating between 19 different HMX types of switches, which would be another thing that we could do, but that might fall into the category of we spent time wondering if we could, we never took the time to wonder if we should. Good old Malcolm. He was a sage of our time. Anyway. Put you off to the side. You go up here, you go down here. You actually go here. Somehow you were fitting earlier. There you go. Okay, good enough. And then you should go right here. For now, we'll come back to you. You can go up there. Let's go grab it. We'll do 65 since no one seems to be strongly opinionated about it. Nope. That's a boot on boy. Nope. Nope. It's right next to it. Okay. Here we have the Neo 65. Currently, it has dropped DCX Cyber on it, so it will be a little bit higher pitch since that is an ABS set. So this is the bass sound test with the HMX Choose in it. So, that being said, let's go ahead. Oh wait, no, these have lunar stones on them right now. So, they're new full palm switches. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11. We can do 9 and 9 with one. We'll leave one here. So we're going to do from here. We'll leave this one in. Leave this one in. Now we're going to pull switches. And these are all of our switches that we're going to be dealing with today. I was trying to put them in sort of in order from what I believe to be the least clacky to the most clacky. So these guys go there. Now this is not taking into effect things like rounded bottoms. Oh wait, butter. Butter. The butter switches and the butter switches and which ones? Oh, and the game 1989 switches are the only two that are not available through Unikeys. If you are going to buy any of the switches from Unikeys, I would suggest that you use the Adept 024. I also have a link I can provide, but Poro. This one's tricky. This is the cilantro. We're going to put it at the end. No, we're going to put it at the beginning. Now, I have not tried this, so whether or not this is actually the proper order, who can say? And, you know, I guess for the haters out there, y'all aren't going to see a difference anyway, so it's not going to matter. But, you know, if you believe in your heart of hearts, some of these have seen more use than others. Things like the Poro switch. Well, the Poro switches are pretty new. Ooh, we're going to split up the gravels. I mean, the Kanglins. All right, so we're going to do this. Sorry, I let my hair go wild. Okay. So, now we're going to go over here. Do. I have a plan. I don't know that it's a good plan, but it's a plan. Does not appear to be a great plan. I have a backup plan. It's a mediocre plan, but it's a plan. What's going on with you? Why are you suddenly not dragging and dropping? Okay, let's try that. Where are you? Oh. There you go. Okay. So we all know these are the switches as we're going through. I'm going to stop the music. Whoa. Stop the music. And we're going to start our test. So we're going to start our test with the cilantro. Well, we'll start our test with the lunar stone, which is our baseline. Then we'll go on to our cilantro. This is kind of unfair because it's a tactile. Then we're going to move on to the bad sweetheart switch. Then this is the game 1989 switch. And then we have our SU color purple. I mean, these sound exactly the same, right? And is it just me? Then we have our, is it Songyu? Finally, we get into our two newer switches. This is the palm with an LY stem, Cosmic Purple. And then our Lunar Stone, which is a full palm switch. Then I believe that is our Purple Dawns. And finally, for this round, it is the Kanglin V3s. So, they all sounded exactly the same. Wait, no. None of them sounded the same at all. And that's just the first round. So I think it's pretty clear to me, anyway, that the people who think that all HMX switches sound exactly the same are kind of full of bull. Or they're just riding the hype train of ragging on HMX. But we're going to go through the rest of the switches because, well, I got them here, and why not? That one. I'm going to leave that one in there because we're going to compare that one to the V2. But our baseline is still going to be the Lunar Stone. I kind of want to show the difference between the V2 and the V3 of the Kanglins. Now, I think when we get to the Eva and the Emo, they may be similar. Oh, How did I miscount so egregiously? Ah. So we have 3 more switches than I even thought. So that's 17. So we have 20. We have 20. Yes, the cilantros were the only tactile. I have not yet been able to achieve frog or the other one that Unikeys has yet. But I'm interested. Oh, wait, why am I taking them out? I don't know why I'm doing this. What am I doing? We haven't started yet. Oh, so that wasn't the... Oh, the thing I said was the Purple Dawn was actually the Poro. If y'all need me to redo that, I can. Yeah. I don't know how, and I mean, I don't know how far into the tactile force I really want to go, but... Oh, darn it. I'm just forgetting my process the entire way. So I've got these in here, and we're going to take a picture again. Okay. A is remaining our lunar stone control. And then have that upload. I think the frog is actually a heavy tactile, like heavier than the cilantro. And then there's the other one, which I think is a light tactile. So they kind of cover all their bases in the tactility field. All right, so go back to our browser. Not gonna do it. Yeah, okay. That is the right one. That is going to be... Okay. So this is the current listing. So this is going to be our baseline. These are the lunar stones. And then these are the Kanglin V2s. Now this is comparing them to the Kanglin V3s. Notice how the Kanglen V2s are higher pitched and have kind of a cleaner overall sound profile. And then now these are the gravel. And then these are the purple dawns. These are the Evas. These are the Emos. These are the Chews, some of my favorites. And these are the Hyacinth V2s. And the Hyacinth V2Us. I might have those backwards. I should double check that. I mean, these are closer. And yeah, and then these are the Kanglen V3s again. So from here, we only have 4 switches left. And so I'm just going to clean out the bottom 4 here. And leave, and we can do a comparison to the ones that we still have in there. The last 4 are Butter, Mirror, that's the Akko collab, Deep Navy, and the Swift V2s. I'm not going to bother to do the camera thing. So Butter, Mirror, Deep Navy, Swift. So Butter, Butter to H. So this is going to be the Emo, right? Right. All right. Butter to Emo. butter to chew, butter to Hyacinth V2, butter to Hyacinth V2U, and butter to Kanglin V3. And finally, butter to Lunar Stone. And then mirror. And then mirror to emo. Mirror to chew. Mirror to hyacinth. Hyacinth V2U. And hyacinth to Kanglin V3. Or mirror to Kanglin V3. Finally, oh no, not finally. This is going to be the Deep Navy. Deep Navy to Lunar Stone. Deep Navy to butter. Deep Navy to the mirror. Deep Navy to the emo. To the chew. Hyacinth V2. Hyacinth V2U. And the Kanglin V3. Now, finally, this is the Swift. Swift to Lunar Stone. To butter. These are kind of close. To mirror. To Deep Navy. To emo. To the chew. These are kind of close. To the Hyacinth V2. To the 2U. And to the Kanglin. All right. So, does anybody have any questions or opinions on this? They do all have a unifying sound, and that is that solid bottom out. They all have that solid bottom out, and so I can see where that could confuse people into thinking that they do sound the same. I mean, in some cases. I mean, I can't really say, like in the case of something like the Bad Sweetheart or the Kanglin V3, it's hard to compare them to the other switches because their sound profiles are just so different. And then, you know, some switches like the Game 1989, where it's significantly deeper than most of the other switches. So, I mean, saying that it sounds the same as, you know, something like the butter, you know. You know, I mean, it's just, I mean, that's, there's a significant difference there. And in, you know, I just, even like the Kanglin V3 versus the Bad Sweetheart, I would say that they probably have the closest to the similar sound profiles. And they're still... It's still night and day. Yeah, I think I think it's clear that is it's a myth. It's a dirty lie propagated by Big Cherry to woo you away from using the true end-all be-all switches. It's a lie by Big Cherry. Big Gateron? Nah. Big Cherry. I'm going to put my keyboard back together. Because if I don't, then I'll leave them like this, put it back in its bag, and then later on, I'll be like, what the Jilly G Willikers all to heck and back? Sorry for swearing. Am I doing here? I think I've gone quite mad, actually. Well, that was fun. I liked it. Now I'm just thinking about that Bach and Echo Go. Well, I put this away, and we're going to revisit the and you I'm going to revisit the Bach and Echo Go. I could fill it up with Lunar Stones. I don't think the Lunar Stones sounded as good. What do I have that's exceptional? All right, here's what we're going to do. Am I doing this keyboard at a service by putting unre-lubed Cherry MX2A switches in it? Question. Think about that for a second. I'll be right back. Okay. All right, no thoughts. Got it. No problem. So, so this top row is really my big problem. So I've got these. I'll try them in it real quick. These are Cherry MX2A silvers. Because, you know, fast actuation. It's important in life. Nope, they're exactly the same, just higher pitched. Nope. No, definitely not. Option 2. If you're going with a Bakken Echo, are these the right switches or are these not the right switches? Oh no, these are not the right switches, but we could try them. These are Q1s, which are the QWERTY Keys collab switches that were designed for the QK100. They're the same, just higher pitched. We may be going with the Sages. The Sages seem to be our best bet so far. One last try before we just go with the Sages. And that is Key Geek MZ Studio Collab Y3. Some of my favorite switches. Oh, they're the same, just higher pitched. I mean, lower pitched. Funny. Alright, let's go back to the Gateron Sage and see if I have the same feeling now that I did when we first looked at them. Otherwise, I might just go with the Y3s anyway. Or stick with the switches that are in there. See, this is how I roll. You know, you got to try some different switches every once in a while. Every time. Different switches. No, now I'm hearing it here anyway. How do I feel about that? Maybe I just need to have that last bumper in the middle. Maybe that's the answer. Let's try the bumper. Where to put my bumper at? There you go. Okay. It's better, actually. It's still there, though. There's kind of a hollowness. Just in the top row. Just towards the center. Maybe it has to do with the daughter board. I'm not sure. It's not even all the way down. Oh, there it is. Okay, it is all the way down. Got it. Okay. All the way down the front. Yes. I don't really need to go higher pitch. So I don't really need the sages in this case. Where's my Picao? But I could go lower. What did I do with you? Yeah, you are there. Okay, let's grab these, put them back. Not doing that. Okay. Am I gonna regret it if I do this? Probably. Am I gonna do it anyway? Probably. I'm gonna go deep. Isn't that from a thing? Now, it doesn't color match nearly as well. But no, I like the original switches. I'm just going to go with those. I was going to make that change. I know it. And I was going to be sitting there and I'm going to be like, oh no, I like the originals better. Let's just do it. Let's just stick with what we had. They were in there for so long for a reason. Because I have a problem where I find a really good switch for a board and then I just keep messing with the board. I have the same problem with art. I'll keep fiddling with my art until I ruin it. Just like I may switch back away from the gaskets back to the O-ring. But for now, all right. I think I'm going to stick with this. I think I'm happy with it. Yeah, and I think unless there's nothing else we wanted to look at or see or talk about, I think I am going to see about finding us somebody to raid. What do y'all think? Why am I using this? Put this away. Let's use that new Hall Effect keyboard I just built. Because the thing is honestly pretty impressive. And matches the desk mat. And that's important. Sort of. in some way to somebody, I'm sure. I'll need to find out where I started with the HMX and then start pushing that out. Cause it'll be on video on demand right after I finish. So all right, yeah. So here's our new Hall Effect Geon spellbook. Still does not work with that cable. There we go. Yeah. So just for one last time, let's go ahead and kill the music. This is the Venom 60HE with Gateron Jade Pros, Dye-Sub PBT Spellbook clones, and inside the Tofu Redo case. Oh. Hold the phone, almost did a bad thing. Okay, let's do that now. Okay. I hope y'all enjoyed the stream. Let me go see if I can find somebody who is streaming as well, and we can go ahead and raid them. Anybody doing keyboards? Keyboards. Live Sunday. Nope, and nope. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and end stream then. Again, thanks for joining me. Next weekend, I believe we're gonna be taking a look at the Tide 65 keyboard. Thank you for showing up, Klex, and for everybody who joined me for today's stream. I really thought it was hopefully an informative stream. You know, with the gaskets and the HMX switches and Hall Effect. So with that, join me next week, and same bat time, same bat channel. I'll make announcements if there's any changes. Thanks.